recording. It's Thanksgiving, 25th of the month of November, 2021. I have a dilemma. I had a corporation named Not Mad Science Tech Incorporated. And I had the paperwork, and I'm slowly trying to turn it from a corporation on paper to a viable living corporate entity. And I'm finding that it's a lot more than meets the eye. I'm not going to say that for anybody that really does want to deal with it. Oh, okay, fantastic. And if someone had to ask me, why would I choose to have a company or a corporation? There's fantasy and real life. Okay, the fantasy is that you want to have a company, and within the first few years of it, start making a lot of money and have no problems. In real life, I am thrust to the notion that I have to live a better life than what I have now. I've been blessed to complete high school, but I do not have a college degree. I was trying to get me a college degree, but I'm not good with academic studying, and I have to admit that even though I've liked other fields, such as I started off with computer science, but I wasn't good with my math or science or English. And I'm wondering how I got out of high school in the first place. But I can say I did most of the work and learned some things, and I got out of high school. Now, in my 53rd season of life, I'm finding that I'm not too far from retirement, yet I need refirement. I'm paying some things and losing at other things. If I needed to literally live on my own, I could not, because I don't have enough money saved. I have more money in Social Security which is like a rainy day, but if I was to be truthful of the matter, I need that money right now. Pay off bills, to acquire even a house, a decent house. Matter of fact, it didn't have to be a large house. It could be a tiny house. And I'm looking out here in front of me instead of looking at you. I'm not looking too great as far as face with my beard and stuff, but I'm being real. Now, the real thing is I have to also be honest with, it was not because my dad didn't give me the money to go to college, or that's by God's grace, nor my mother didn't focus because she was a single mother trying to raise 3 knuckleheaded kids. And I wasn't focused in school to begin with. I'll admit that. It was either go in, try to get through the day, eat lunch, go back home, watch TV. But in watching TV, I liked a lot of stuff. If I had to explain my career, I've done janitorial, I've done, worked in the restaurant business, Hardee's, for about 3 years. And that's been the longest job that I've had solidly. I worked for the United States Postal Service, and that's been an off and on thing for about, I guess, just under 2 years. Because I worked for them for a solid year. Then I worked for another, few months after that year. Then I got me a holiday thing and worked a couple of months then. So I'd say just under 2 years with them. And as I work and slowly get these, what I call low end entry jobs where you make enough money to sustain something, I'm slowly getting into the person where I need to get a degree, I need to work something and make something over 10, 12, 15, maybe 20,000. Because I think my highest is about that over the years, a year. And I've been working off and on for about, since I've been 17, well over 30 years. The real issue now, and as I try to explain this, I've gotten older. I'm not as fast as I used to be. And thank God I still have all my fingers, toes, and limbs. Yet, I've endured a lot of stuff within this body. And I don't want to wake up where I'm handicapped or need medical assistance to live the rest of my days. That's why this corporate entity was created. Some days I think of great ideas. Just recently I was looking at where this guy is selling solar panels to put on the home. Now he's incorporated the idea of a solar panel, yet a backup system to that. Both solar cells, a battery, and hooked up with this company called Generac. And if I incorporated those ideas into my business, then here comes a lawsuit because they'd say I was infringing on his copyrights, trademarks, such and such. Then, by God's grace, the thought came to my mind where I was thinking about water. And I looked up, was able to Google it and found water turbines. And the next thing I was also thinking about was water turbines. I read an article on trying to empower the water you use to power your house. And I want maybe to do that and enhance my ideas where they could be used. Where I could use those same ideas and make a living. Could I take a water turbine or make a system based off buying some product off the shelf which would enhance, say like getting two containers together, connecting them up, and start making a closed loop system where water flows in and out constantly amongst the two containers, and both take the electricity, pump it, or have it connected to both the electrical lines in the house and be able to live off the grid using that system, but also being able to shunt some of the electrical energy into a battery system where I can, in case the power is cut from me or along the system, I can still have power in my home. See, that's an idea. And I would like to keep that idea. Now that I've said something on that idea and how to do that, here comes another person. Well, we've got that and this, that, and the other. And now I'm trying to fight in order to keep ideas that I might, which I've done over the years, say something to one person and throw it off and think, that was a good idea. How come I didn't think of that or keep that to myself? Now, going on now. How do I keep the other ideas, the other things that I want to do flowing? All right, water turbines, making a closed loop system with 2 containers, and next thing you know, both siphoning the kinetic energy from water or the fluid motion of water into an constant electrical system where I could use that electricity and be able to live off the grid and also sell the electricity back, which to me would be a passive income. Next, what's the next thing? I'd like to do more things in science. I'd like to go back to school and get my college degree. And then there's the question, can a customer also be a professional, a client, and what's that word? A customer, a client, and contracted at the same time. For example, I want to work with NASA as a contracted pilot, amateur scientist, military person as well. But how do I do that? I do want to build a spaceship. Yes, I do. Everybody's complaining about climate change and water and how we could do that. Unfortunately, we do have nuclear power. And years ago, the United States had that program with Jackass Flats. And I wonder, could we do something like that now in this present time and moment? That would be a lot of time. That would be a lot of money and controversy because people in nukes and programs and stuff like that. But yet, my mother always said something which was funny, and I always thought about this, and I got another phrase that I'm finna drop. Here it is. Enforce godliness by choice. It's like another word that I'm finna drop. Nice. Need improvement consistently every day. I have definitions for those. And if a person said nice, they would think of the word as a person being good or sweet. But really, to tell you the truth, both nice and enforcing godliness by choice is the same thing. You're trying to live in a world where you try and live under the rules of the land or country that's ruling, in this case, America. You like to do it that glorifies God. That's where godliness comes in. And his way of doing, his way of being right. And every day is, like I said, nice. You're going to need to improve consistently every day. It's not, as long as you have breath in this body and you're above the grave, that's a given. The saddest thing is not that the jail cell is the ending of your life. It's just another bump in the road of your life. And how you choose to look at your life is up to you. Here's another thing. This corporate entity was to help with my mom, my sisters, my baby sister and her children and grandchildren. Because if it were successful and it generated money through products and services and lived out its lives for the youngest of the grandchildren, then it would be a help both to them and the community at large, and which I hope God's vessel and where we are a part of his church. That's a lot to drop in, and I hope somebody could listen to this. But right now I'm recording and I'm finna get ready and shut this down because I gotta go to the restroom. Okay. I'll come back and hopefully do some more what's this? Micromanaging on my thoughts. AK.